is Jalen Anthony Rose.
What up, dog?
I'm still David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
Together we are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do?
We give the people what they want.
We start today's show with a historic Monday Night Football matchup between Drew Brees and the Saints and the Indianapolis Colts. Jalen Rose, I want you to look at this. This is an important play. See this? Throws a little swing pass, incomplete. That was his only incompletion of the entire game. Drew Brees was 29 for 30, set a record for completion percentage, and of course, you know by now, he has now thrown more career touchdown passes than anyone else to ever do it. More yards than anyone else to ever do it. So why don't we ever consider Drew Brees when we talk about the GOATs?
Well, because usually people start to dumb down those conversations and only ring count.
Yes.
And so what ends up happening is you can't really account for history because you'll say, hey, Tom Brady got 6, he the GOAT. And then you'll give Montana his love because he had Jerry Rice and he's put up big numbers.
They had championships.
But then it's like Terry Bradshaw got 4.
But we don't talk about him at all.
What about him for his love?
But why are we always ring counting though? Like if you are a quarterback, what's more impressive than a team victory? Because you got to remember, there is no more important team sport than football. There's 55 people on the roster. There's going to be 35 people that touch the field on your team alone. But individually, he's passed for more yards than everybody else. He's thrown for more touchdown passes than everybody else. Does he deserve more, consideration?
I do believe he does. And winning another ring, I hate to say it, is going to make people put him in that conversation. For me, watching a lot of football growing up and as an adult doing this job, I only think of a couple of people in this last era that deserve to be in the conversation. That I didn't mention was probably Peyton Manning.
Peyton, yeah.
Right? He's right there.
Consistency is important, too.
He's right there.
All these players that we're talking about, Montana, Brady, Manning, Brees, they consistently are on winning teams, too.
Yeah, that matters. Winning does matters because, now you're lifting the players around you. So then all of a sudden, Michael Thomas putting up big records for catching the ball. Cooks, who's got injured, I think he's going to be a big factor as the season progresses. Alvin Kamara coming out of the backfield hasn't had a historic year like he was doing last year, but still he's a threat. Sean Payton on the sideline dialing up plays. He and Sean Payton have created one of the greatest coaching quarterback dynamic duos that the history of the league has seen.
It's also one of the things they just so happen to be doing at the same time as Belichick and Brady, so they get overshadowed because the rings do matter. I know we talk about, everybody's ring counts, but it does matter.
You think they record people's sidelines every now and then?
They're making a documentary about the advanced scouts, okay? Just documentary filmmakers. That's all they're doing. You mentioned Michael Thomas. He had 12 receptions and a touchdown. Every time they threw in the ball, he caught it. Every time they threw in the ball, he got it. And this is consistent. He's got he's got something like 3 drops in the entire year. Jalen, I'm watching this game. There's a recency bias that we need to be careful about. Because especially in this one game on Monday night, there's a recency bias that we need to be careful about. But this win did bring them to 11-3 and had me convinced, maybe it's not just, the Seahawks and the Packers and the 49ers in the NFC.
Oh, it's definitely not. I'm rolling with you on that. And don't sleep on Minnesota. I'm just going to keep putting their name in the conversation.
They're going to prove something on Sunday. They got something to prove this week.
And just like we did with the quarterbacks, and we were more talking, the longevity of the sport, and we didn't mention Brett Favre. But what about wide receivers in today's game? Since Michael Thomas isn't the fastest, doesn't seem the most athletic, people don't give him the love for one of the top receiver in the game. Julio just a physical specimen.
I'm putting Hopkins up there too.
And then Hopkins, Thomas is third.
Right there. Yeah, I think he's there.
He's third now.
I think he's there.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's more talented than Odell, but what I am saying is,
every time you throw the ball, he catches it, and every time you look to him, he's open. What else do you want from a receiver?
Right. AJ Green shouldn't be trying to play with the Bengals no more.
He's not trying to play. He's like, I'm a free agent after this season?
Right.
We won one game? Oh, I'm gone.
Yeah, so I applaud Michael Thomas for also getting his bread in the offseason and still turning up his performance.
Yep.
Sometimes those things don't go hand in hand with athletes. He's done that. And this Saints team, remember when Drew Brees was out, they did go 4-0.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Teddy Bridgewater was
correct.
Like, we got this.
And so now Drew Brees comes back, and he's elevated.
A little rested.
He's elevated.
Yeah.
One incompletion, passed the touchdown record, and he just shredded San Francisco last weekend.
You had a wide open running back. Wide open running back on a swing pass. That's gonna be your only completion.
I just got him
one thing
focused.
if he went deep down the field, but that's an easy throw and catch. Come on, Drew.
I got an example
you
you
could have been 30 for 30, Drew.
I got an example you appreciate.
What's that?
Start the game, breakaway layup, you miss it.
Oh, I'm gonna cry for the rest of the game. I'm not even shooting again. Glad you brought up basketball because we will move to basketball as I did when this game got out of hand. I was like, let me check on the Spurs and the Rockets.
Can I ask one follow-up question?
No!
What about Jacoby?
I'm already transitioning.
What about Jacoby?
on.
What about Jacoby?
Oh, you know me. I'm die easy. I bailed on Jacoby after like week 5. After like they were looking good for a while, and I was like, you know what? No,
they were like 5-2. What they like 1-6?
Both Jacobys in the league are disappointing me right now. I'm changing my last name.
Tom Brady was like, hey, you ain't running that route. Get him out of there.
I'm changing my last name. So I clicked over to the Spurs and Rockets game because this one got a little out of hand after the record was broken and everything. And I was like, all right, the Spurs are beating the Rockets like the entire game. At one point, they were up by 25 points. The Rockets have never come back down 25 until last night. James Harden turned it on in the fourth quarter. He scored 19 of his 28 in the second half. And then we had Westbrook put in 31. And at the end of the game, it was just one of those games where it was like, you know what, we'll just turn it on and win at the end. And the Rockets did exactly that. What did this tell you about the Rockets?
What is my Rockets exercise after they play a game when I look down at the stat sheet? Whose name am I looking for?
A gentleman by the name of Clint Capella.
And people are like, whoa, not James. Well, I know James is going to shoot for 50, 60, 70 points every night. So it's about his efficiency.
Harden has 28, and you're like, ooh, not a great game. Like 28 points.
And you ready for this? I know Russ going to do the same thing with his opportunities.
Yep.
I know what I'm getting from those guys. And when they're efficient, they can be a problem. But when Clint Capella giving me 15 and 15, now that becomes a level of balance that now puts them in position to be able to play basketball when their threes aren't necessarily falling. And also, McLemore has been a revelation.
It has, because Gordon out, so it gives people an opportunity. McLemore's getting a lot of minutes, looking good.
Boom. So now you bring Gordon back. McLemore's taller than him. You may have created a new small ball lineup.
Yeah.
Where you could put Capella at the 5 and put some Tucker, give him some minutes. You know, nobody makes more corner threes than P.J. Tucker from both sides. Nobody. And so I appreciate how they continue to grow. Here's something that they did that I've been waiting on them to do.
What's that?
When they run a high pick and roll action with James, if you were coaching the other team, what would you do?
Double.
Correct.
I'm blitzing it.
Correct.
I'm blitzing it.
Correct.
Go ahead.
Correct. So now what they do, they roll Capella to the front of the rim, and they bring Russ behind him.
Yeah, they bring someone back around.
And Russ is 100 miles and running going downhill. And so now all of a sudden, he's not standing behind the three-point line just being a spot-up shooter. But I got to talk about the other team real quick. San Antonio Spurs. You know I bow down and pay homage to Pop. He's clearly one of the go. Ain't no buts.
There's a but.
No. This is the first time, probably before David Robinson. Think about that. Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan. That I'm watching them play, and I'm like, they don't have an all-star this year. That was the first time
down the West
since the early 90s, 80s. That I was like, that's the problem with the Spurs. They have so many
also
young.
Give up a lot of points.
Yeah, that's.
Let me show you one of their young players.
Okay.
Let's look at DeJounte Murray.
Okay,
right?
cool.
Because he's playing defense. There was a physical game early on. The refs were kind of letting people play. So good deep, poke the ball away. James trying to flop a little bit. James not even running back on defense. You notice that? Not even jogging. And then Murray, a little bump. I'll bump you back. I'm gonna push you, and I'll push you back. What do you think about this hold me back moment between these two?
They like, where's the ref? Get in here, ref. You taking so long? That seems like it take forever. Like, get in here, ref. Yeah. I love DeMar straight up menace braids too. One of the things that happened on that play is Murray was mad at himself that he didn't explode and dunk the ball. That's first and foremost. He kind of got tripped up and wasn't able to dunk the ball. Second, they were crushing the Rockets. So he feeling myself. And then all of a sudden, boom, him and James have an encounter. That's what the game is all about. No harm, no foul.
It is now time for the Don't Get Fired topic of the day.
And now, the Don't Get Fired topic of the day.
Jalen, we have a video from my new favorite IG account. It's called Passenger Shaming. Okay? In this video, you fly a lot. I fly a lot. We've seen some passengers do some disrespectful, gross things on planes before. But this might take the cake. Just take a look at this video of a real human being on a real commercial flight picking at the skin on the bottom of his feet. Picking at the skin at the bottom of his feet. And look how dirty his feet are, too. Jalen, there's so many levels of disrespect and disgustingness to this. Your thoughts?
My thoughts is that person better be mixed, because those feet is out of control.
That's your first thought?
Yes.
Explain yourself, sir, because I'm confused.
Because for your feet to get that dirty, you're not peeling that off. You got to be born into that, bro.
Okay.
You're not peeling that off.
Okay.
That level of dirt, you ain't peeling off with a scalpel.
Yeah, okay.
With a shovel.
So because of the color of the skin of the bottom of their feet, you're assuming that they are not, like, have my skin tone.
I'm saying he better been born like that.
Okay, because here's my follow-up question.
That's
It's one thing,
nasty.
It's one thing to take your shoes off and have some nice clean socks. That's fine. I can do that, right? But taking your shoes off and having some dirty socks, you can't do that. Taking your shoes off and having your bare feet out on a plane amongst other people, that is wrong. This picking your skin with your pinky nail,
Dog.
that should be against the law. Like, honestly, you remember what they did to Dion Waiters or whatever? They had to land the plane and like get the feet. They got to do that. They got to land the plane and get them. Get them right now.
Put that video back up there again.
Get 'em.
Because I want to show you something. He's actually doing this on purpose. He is not trying to actually get that off the bottom of his feet, because he would be using his pinky.
So let me tell you about this.
He would not be using his pinky.
If you get, because you know we like to get detailed into this. If the way that he's picking at it, you know that there could be some shrapnel. There could be some shrapnel that flies off of there. That skin's not going to land in his hand. That's going to go right off his hand onto the floor.
That's just nasty. Oh my goodness.
We need to find out who this person is.
It makes me feel good about what I did yesterday. You want to show you what I did yesterday? I went to the nail spot yesterday.
Oh, no.
I'm telling you.
I don't want to see your feet.
I went to the nail spot yesterday. Trust me.
We call this Don't Get Fired for a reason,
I know.
Jalen
I went to
Rose.
the nail spot yesterday.
You already brought up race, and now you're taking your feet out.
Look, they did good. Look how good they
Why do
did.
the bottom of your feet look like bottom of that man's feet? Why do the bottom of your feet look like the bottom of that man's feet?
Look at this. You see how the nails are nice and manicured? You see I got the snowflakes? You see I got the snowflakes off the bottom?
Jalen.
No snowflakes. Look.
Jalen, do you see what it says right there? It says, "Don't get fired."
Hey, look, I got the toe jam removed too.
No, you didn't. See something right there. Get those away from me. Yeah. Get your feet away from me.
That?
Get your feet away.
See that right there?
Go to break. Go to break. This needs to stop. This needs to stop. Coming to you live from Pier 17 in the South Street Seaport and brought to you by the people at Chase. Welcome back
feet again?
To Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, stop. It is time for you to rely on your over a decade of service, professional athlete. It's time for you to take us behind the curtain. Now, you know what I don't like talking about the Browns. They're not even a mediocre football team.
I'm surprised you bringing them up.
Well, they're such a mess that they fight their way into the news cycle every single day.
There's a handful of people that Jacoby we're not talking about them on the show.
They
just troll and troll and troll.
Well, the latest is this. We have a tweet from Michael Silver, and here's what the tweet said. It said, multiple players. I'm told by two sources that before the game ended, multiple Browns players yelled at the Arizona sideline, "Come get me," asking to come play for the Cardinals of all teams. Landry, I'm told, was one of them. Landry also got into a little exchange with Kitchens on the sideline. Jalen Rose, take us behind the curtain. How in the world can multiple players go to the opposing sideline and say, "Come get me"?
So I'm going to start on the offensive side of the football for Cleveland, because the rumblings of this happening initially were led by Odell Beckham Jr.
Yep.
And then Landry comes out and speaks for Odell and says Odell wants to stay. Mm-hmm. Odell doesn't say anything, which he hasn't done too much talking away from the field all season, and I respect that. But here's the problem with the other 1,400 players in the league. They're going to look at y'all like y'all weak.
Yeah.
Like, seriously?
Come get me.
Like, all the talent y'all got.
During the game?
All the talent y'all got. See, this is the one thing I always tell you about this cancel culture. There's another thing that's happening these days, too, called a quit culture, where things ain't going my way. We ain't winning right. Either I ain't playing or I want to get traded.
A trade, or I'm going to have some injury that might not be really an injury.
Me and you watch so many sporting events together. Just recently, we've gone to a UFC fight. We've gone to boxing. We watch football. We watch basketball. And what do I always say the responsibility of the best player is?
If we're not winning, it's on me. It's like, well, listen, if we're not winning, you're supposed to be the one who's supposed to bring us to the win.
That's why we got you, right? What do you mean? That's why we got you, Odell, Landry, Hunt,
we
Baker.
Weren't winning, and then we brought you in.
That's why we got y'all.
Wins.
If you tell me on paper there can't be too many collections of skill players outside of Baker, by the way.
Yeah, it's hard.
I'm talking about two backs.
He needs to show me a little
and
bit
two
more.
receivers.
Yeah.
They're as good as they get in the entire league. Now, this will be Freddie Kitchens' only year coaching the team, but that still don't mean don't go out and play and be a professional. I promise you.
It gets worse. You mentioned Kareem Hunt. Here's what he said about his teammates' effort during the game.
More?
I feel like there was some plays that everybody didn't leave it. They 110% out there through the whole play, through the whole whistle. And we all got to do that if we want to be successful.
Well, he just being honest. So that's different. He just being honest. Somebody put a microphone in front of him and asked him what he thought was wrong with the
Jalen.
team. But let me finish expanding on this point. Baker Mayfield has been so bad this year that nobody's talking about that. Put his numbers up there, D, please. We're going to talk about Odell's numbers being down, Jarvis Landry, what he said to the other team. When you look at Baker's numbers, you see that 31? It's only 32 teams.
There's 32 teams, so he's better than somebody. he's better than somebody.
Right, just think about that. Right? He about to have a 20 for 20. Like Jameis about to have a 30 for 30. The first one ever. But in all honesty, insert a quarterback's name under center instead of him. Give me Carson Wentz.
Oh, sure.
What about Dak Prescott?
Oh, sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can keep going.
That's my point. To me, Freddie Kitchens, Baker Mayfield are the issues on the team. You ready for another quarterback you can put under there? Kyler Murray.
Well, it sounds like Landry at least, and maybe some others like the way that Kyler looks.
Boom!
Because it's not like they're playing the Patriots. They're like, listen, we need to get to a stable system that's got a great front office. That's just stable and not like this chaos. They're talking about the Cardinals with a head coach and a quarterback that haven't really even proved anything
Correct.
yet.
They just cut T Sizzle. And he's like, good looking. I'm going to roll with the Chiefs.
Yeah. He said, come get me to everybody.
Come on, man.
Well, another franchise that's a bit of a disaster, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Remember Tom Coughlin got in there and they pushed the Patriots in the AFC Championship game and everything seemed to be in the up and up for them. But now, the NFLPA has issued a statement warning their players, saying, you know what, of all grievances filed by all players in the NFL, you just mentioned how many there were, over 1,000, 25% come from people having grievances against the Jaguars. And at the end of the statement, they said, y'all should probably consider that when picking teams.
Well, first off, if you don't play for the Patriots, every player should have a grievance against them.
Why is that?
They're recording sidelines.
They're making a documentary, Jalen.
So first
they're getting B-roll.
Okay.
They're getting B-roll.
Okay, first off. The next thing, the 25 players fined, I would like to see what those fines were for. Because to me, that sounds like, the meeting's at 8.
They're mandatory
I want you there at 7:55.
Mandatory rehab treatments.
Hey, man, if you're not practicing, you're not playing, you got to get treatment.
Listen, we're in the New York area, got a lot of Giants fans, friends. Like, Tom Coughlin was not exactly what you call a player's coach. Not exactly a player's coach. Was, maybe not a soft glove kind of guy.
Well, don't let what I say into a microphone and the glasses and all that fool you. That's how I would be.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a level of discipline.
You cannot wear those glasses, though. You can't. You can't be like, we gotta be disciplined. We gotta be on time. We gotta be on point. But I got an unzipped hoodie and some crazy glasses on.
Taking off my shoes.
I just took my shoes off and put them on TV.
But in all honesty, if you're not able to practice and you're not able to play in games, there's a treatment plan. And if you're not there for treatment, then you're going to get fined.
Well, you know what happened? He got all of his money back. Got all of his money
Well, there
back.
you go.
Moving on, we have some bad news. Remember that nice, great catch that Josh Gordon made in that deep ball from Russell Wilson?
Beautiful. Fingertip.
Great, yeah, for just extending for
Fingertip.
it. Well, he's been suspended indefinitely.
No.
PEDs and substance abuse. Jalen, you know this. Jalen, this is not a one-time thing for Mr. Gordon. He's been battling this disease for quite some time. This is very bad news. Like, what do you think happens next for him?
So the beauty of being an athlete, and this is why I encourage all young people to play, is there are certain life lessons you get from sports that you don't get outside of it. Discipline, sacrifice, teamwork, how to deal with success, how to deal with failure, how to push yourself to the limit, how to work until you're tired and continue to work some more. Understanding when not to quit, how to beat somebody graciously, how to lose graciously, how to manage your time. There's so many things. But one thing that comes with sports is you get coached and you get disciplined. Mm-hmm. You get on a schedule and you're required to follow that your entire life, whether you realize it or not. And then all of a sudden, you get suspended 5 times and you're clearly an addict. And now you lose football.
He's been on the verge of losing football before. Like, this isn't the last time we said, is this the last time?
Tell me the last 2 quarterbacks he just played for.
Tom Brady, Russell Wilson.
What about the last 2 coaches?
Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll.
Best in the game. Best in the game.
Stable franchises. You know, they've both been there for a long time.
Best in the game.
Coaches.
So now when you take that away from him, I just hope as a human being, he doesn't struggle at the game of life.
Yeah.
Because you know I always talk about the score of the game as well.
Focus right now needs to be on the game of life, not the game of football.
The focus has to be on the game of life because football, he lost it. Mm-hmm. He lost it.
Is this the last time we've seen him play football in the NFL?
Yes.
I think so too. LeBron James, game against the Pacers tonight, Bucks later in the week, and he had something very interesting to say about load management. We'll tell you what that is and much more right after this. Tomorrow night on ESPN, we have a doubleheader starting at 7 p.m. Jimmy Butler and the Heat take on his old team in Philly, the 76ers, and then in the nightcap, starting at 9:30, the Celtics take on the Mavs, who just took down the Bucks. Looking forward to both of those tomorrow night on ESPN. But the big day is soon upon us. Chris Basketball. Look at those 5 games on ESPN and ABC. What a day for me to ignore my children all holiday long. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. The Lakers have been on a tear. Haven't lost a game on the road. LeBron James and them are going up against the Pacers, and then they have a big matchup with the Bucks a couple days after that on Thursday. But Jalen, LeBron James had something to say about load management, and I found it interesting. He said the following quote, "Why wouldn't I play if I'm healthy? It doesn't make any sense to me personally. I mean, I don't know how many games I got left in my career. I don't know how many kids that may show up to a game that are there to come see me play. And if I sit out, then what? That's my obligation. My obligation is to play for my teammates, and if I'm healthy, then I'm going to play. If coach sits me out and I'm not healthy, it's just that simple." Jalen Rose. Okay. One thing LeBron does is he kind of pats himself on the back a little bit. Because I've been following LeBron very closely throughout his entire career. Let's just say that perhaps this hasn't always been his stance on load management. What do you think about LeBron saying, if I'm healthy, I'm playing because those kids, they might want to see me play?
That is 17 years talking. That's understanding that he's the face of NBA basketball and it's important for him to show up. Mm-hmm. It's him understanding that the term load management has become taboo.
Yep.
Same as rest. He sees his peers are now not taking pride in playing 82 games. And he realizes while he's been very durable and an amazing, one of the greatest ambassadors that the game has seen, there have been a couple of periods of time during his storied 17-year career, as you alluded to, 2-week trip in Miami. I remember comes to mind that people felt like he was possibly doing that.
In his head, he was nursing an injury, rehabbing, getting back.
And some of his critics might even point to last year and wonder if he could have came back from his injury or would have he come back if the team was actually better. But more importantly, this is the stance you need the face of the league to take.
Yes.
We need LeBron. We need the best players in the game to challenge one another to play 82 again.
Well, I do feel like there's a part of this where he also said, I don't know how many days I have left. You know what I mean? Which is sort of a nod to the fact that he is playing 17 years and he's savoring sort of like these last years that he has in the league. Because I think that if you talked to LeBron 4 or 5 years ago, he'd be like, listen, my 100% goal is to win a championship. And I'll do whatever it takes. If that means resting a little bit, if that means, rehabbing an injury back, then that's what I'm going to do. But now he sees it. He's a little more mature and older and says, what if a kid buys a ticket?
And now you got Anthony Davis. Now you're on a contending team.
You had all summer off, too.
Correct. But also now he's so great, he has milestones to play for, too, throughout the regular season. Can he catch Kareem? He's top 5 in assists. Will he keep moving up that
Another
list?
MVP
What
would be
about
nice.
triple-doubles? What about MVPs? We showing stats about him scoring 25 points per game. We're showing stats about him leading the league in assists. So it seems that he's found motivation for the regular season based on those items, and I appreciate that. I want guys, when I have the remote control in my hand, to take pride in showing up every night. There are people paying to watch the product. I remember when the product was on tape delay. I remember when David Stern started to globalize the game. The Dream Team happened. Guys knew they needed to sign autographs, shake hands, kiss babies, show up on a nightly basis to grow the game to where guys averaging 5 points now can get $10 million to play basketball. The game has grown.
Well, the Bucks played the Luka-less Mavericks last night at home. Easy win for the Bucks, right? Light work. Well, they didn't just lose the game. The Mavs had control over this game. The Bucks made it sort of a furious finish to make it into a close game, but it was Kristaps Porzingis and Seth Curry who carried the Mavs. What do you think about this big win over the Bucks for the Mavs?
It's a great win for the Mavs, and for me, it was a confidence boost for Kristaps Porzingis.
Yep.
When you join a team that has somebody as dynamic as Doncic, you got to get in where you fit in. With the Knicks, he was the number one option. Go to the block, go to the elbow, go to the 3-line. He was the all-star. Now all of a sudden the season starts and Luka takes the league by storm. 40-point triple-doubles.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden.
And they're winning too.
Correct. So now you got to get fed instead of the other way around. So I appreciated that for him. I like that Seth Curry's playing quality minutes and he's putting up numbers. But I was disappointed in the Bucks' other 4 starters.
Yeah.
I was disappointed.
You put up 48, you need some help.
Correct.
You need some help.
I think they combined for 23 points, all 4 of them. And Kyle Korver came off the bench, had 17 points. Greek Freak was dominant. But usually when the Bucks play well, of course you compete defensively. Of course the communication is there. It's their shooting that let them down. Didn't shoot well from the field. Didn't shoot well from 3. Didn't shoot well from the free throw line. And that's why the streak got snapped.
So, I don't know if you noticed, but the Pistons are not winning basketball games. They had the Wizards, and the Wizards put up 133 points on them. Bradley Beal had 35 and 10. And here's the thing. The Wizards have 6 games with over 130 points. The Wizards, 4th in the league in offensive efficiency. 4th. There's only 3 teams that have higher offensive efficiency than the Wizards, but it just doesn't translate into wins. What's wrong with the Wizards?
Shout to Isaiah Thomas, too, slowly reinventing himself. He had 23 points. Bertans is a knockdown
I love Bertans.
shooter, but he sneak a couple of air balls in. It always trips me out.
Oh, that's fine.
He shoots way too good. And then he'll shoot an air ball. It's
Well, I'm glad you
surprising
brought
me.
up my guy Bertans because there's something happened between him and Morris that I just want to show you.
Oh, okay.
Because Morris,
He don't want those problems.
Yeah, you see, look at the top of the key right here.
He don't want those problems.
You know, you got Bertans.
I don't care
moving the
what's
ball.
about to
Morris just
happen.
moves it out
Got
the way.
it. He don't want those problems.
That's not boxing out. That's not how I was taught to box out. But when a shot goes up,
The thing I like is how the Washington teammate, when you show that again, that's in the right corner, he didn't run and grab Bertans. He ran and grabbed Morris. Both Morrises have played in Detroit and in Washington. Pretty sure a lot of those players have overlapped.
Yeah,
as
they
soon
know.
as I saw this clip, you see, I was like, I know he don't want those problems.
No.
That's I see why he shot an air ball. It makes sense now.
Yeah, the Morrises, I don't want any problems with the Morrises. Not just trans, even Nucci Morris. Like, I don't want any problems with anyone named Morris that ever wore an NBA uniform. For real. Big shout out to Nucci Morris and his dope hair.
Moochie.
Oh, my bad. All right, the Blazers beat the Suns, and they had Dame, CJ, and Melo all scored over 23. They're still bouncing back after the slow start, but they've won 6 of 10. Do you think that they can climb back into that top of the Western Conference like they've been for the last couple of years?
I do think so, and I hope they get Nurkic back at some point. Hassan Whiteside giving them good minutes down low creates balance. Like you mentioned, CJ got going. He ended up leading the team in scoring. Melo double figures in the fourth quarter. Dame was big late on a closing play. So I do believe that they're going to continue to get healthy and improve in the Western Conference standings.
Jalen, Alabama players in football are doing something interesting that I can't wait to talk to you about ahead of their matchup with Michigan in
They
the Citrus
filming
Bowl.
people too?
No, I'll tell you after the break. Jalen Rose, you focus on what we cover and don't cover on this show every single day. So we tailored a segment just for you. It's called
Thank you.
Keep It Moving. If you would like to discuss the topic, say hit the brakes. If not, say keep it moving. Are you ready, Mr. Rose?
I'm just fortunate that Method Man knows my name.
Okay. 2 players for Alabama will not.
Hit the brakes.
Oh, okay. 2 Alabama defensive stars, Terrell Lewis and Trayvon Diggs. Great players, likely headed to the NFL. Decided, you know what? I don't want to play in the Citrus Bowl. I understand. Do you co-sign this kind of behavior from college football athletes?
Now I do, because their game is a lot more physical than basketball. If this was basketball players trying to sit out of the conference tournament games preceding the NCAA tournament games, then I would have a problem with it. But they play a sport that's so physical. And why isn't Tua playing?
It's hurt.
Got it. So therefore, these players trying to keep themselves healthy.
And they're looking at Tua. Tua didn't just get hurt. That probably dropped him at least 10 spots in the draft. At least 10.
Nick Bosa basically missed the whole season and
Good
went
for
number
him.
one.
Good for
the
him.
NFL used to punish players for not playing in bowl games or certain things like that, but not anymore. They caught
Not
up.
anymore. Next, the Raptors absolutely waxed the Cavs. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Pascal Siakam has been one of the top handful of players in the Eastern Conference this year. Raptors keeping it going. Keep it moving for now.
Keep it moving.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
Big win for Ja Morant and the Grizzlies last night. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Let me see who they played. The Heat hit the brakes.
Yep, they beat the Heat. Ja Morant had 20 and 10. So when I look at the Grizzlies, like other teams, like the Knicks or the Hawks, they've got some young draft picks, but I feel much better about their future. Why is that?
Because you see him balling already.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Jaren Jackson Jr., long arms, can shoot the three, can block shots. It's shown you promise.
Yeah, and he's like 17. Like he's still like 20 years old.
Brooks has shown that he can score the ball and get buckets. And Ja Morant is dynamic.
Ja Morant.
Did you see when he split the traffic and went down to the bucket and just dunked on Baines
Of course I did.
a couple of games ago?
Of course I did.
Yeah, that was just nasty. He sacrifices his body.
I need you to hear what Steven Adams said about a pressure free throw situation.
That's your guy. Hit the brakes.
All right, we'll hit the brakes. Adams was in the post-game interview talking about 2 big free throws that he had to take at the end of the game. Let's listen to his mind state.
Free throw shooting's been such a key for you this season. How did it feel to hit that one and then make the heads-up play after?
Yeah, absolutely. My pants. And I shouldn't have free throw. It's a lot. It's pretty tough.
I just like the idea of his honesty. He's like, I was terrified, man. Because there's so many other NBA athletes who play the other way. I practice that every day in practice, and I was confident. I went up there and I knocked it down. He's just like, no, I was terrified.
So another thing I saw in that clip, besides his great hair, if I could let mine grow, I'll let mine grow like that, I promise. Y'all wouldn't be able to tell me nothing. I'll be Ron O'Neal so fast. He looked like a seasoned vet. Elbow pads,
Taking the tape off.
pad,
Yeah.
got
He got the
adhesive
little
tape.
Cup, the little like
Yeah,
suction cup thing right there, cupping.
Exactly. He looked like somebody that's out there getting physical. Mm-hmm. And so I appreciate his finesse going to the line, knocking him down when his team needed him.
Yeah, he got 1 or 2, but they got the rebound worked out for him. Now, we have an absolute star in college basketball.
Hit the brakes.
That's right. Sabrina Ionescu. You know her from Oregon. She now
can
has
really ball.
20 career triple-doubles.
Say that again.
20 career triple-doubles. That has only been done once in women's basketball, men's basketball, Division I, and that was Oscar Robinson.
So,
Is she going to be the face of the NBA soon?
who's your favorite college basketball player?
Of all time?
No, currently, right now.
Oh, currently, right now, my absolute favorite
We
college
give
basketball
updates. We give
player?
updates for him and everything.
Nas Carter.
Okay, let me tell you who mine is. Sabrina.
That's not fair.
That's mine.
Cheating. You're cheating.
That's mine.
You're cheating.
And so here's what I want to do. Not only should we invite her on the show immediately, this is a personal invite I'm extending. I'm demanding, and I'll take off my shoes again if I have to, and I know you
Please
don't want to
don't.
smell my
Please
feet.
don't. Please
I
don't.
know you don't want to.
No.
We need to be showing her updates just like we show Nas Carter from now on.
Yeah, we owe y'all a Nas Carter update. All right. There's a new Top Gun trailer out. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
This is cultural, but I'll hit the brakes.
You're going to hit the brakes on this?
Yeah.
All right, I have a question for you. Because we had a debate amongst the staff. Have you ever seen Top Gun?
Tom Hanks. I mean, Tom Cruise.
No, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Yeah. So,
Tom Cruise.
Have you seen
It's
Top
Tom
Gun?
Cruise.
Have you seen Top Gun?
Years ago.
All right, it's time for something we haven't done in a long time.
What?
Jalen Rose explains a movie plot.
Oh.
Brace yourself. Jalen Rose is about to explain a movie plot.
Jalen Rose, it's time for you to explain the plot to Top Gun.
So Tom Cruise is in it.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fighter pilot.
Okay.
His goal is to protect and save humanity
Yeah.
by using airplanes
Yeah.
as his main aviation.
That's his main form of aviation, airplanes
and travel.
and travel.
And his number one route to escape in and out of, times of despair.
Yeah.
And, when he hits some obligation of people that want to, the people want to oppose what he's trying to do for humanity.
So he's doing it for humanity,
Yeah,
right?
he's doing
So
it for humanity.
whenever someone's trying to oppose what he's doing for humanity, he just hops in a plane and just drives around. 'Cause that's his main form of aviation.
And you know what? He's paying homage to the military. He's paying homage to the
Hey,
military.
You know what? He supports the troops.
Yeah,
he supports the troops. And you
Yeah.
know what? If you don't support the troops,
You know what? He was flying over the Army Navy game this past
yes,
weekend.
Yes, he was. Jalen Rose, I'm proud that you watched Top Gun. I'm proud you did.
Tom Cruise.
Moving on, I need you to see 2 possessions of a basketball game. I need you to see them. Keep moving, hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
All right. You're about to see my spirit animal.
Uh-oh.
You're about to
Jokic?
see. Not the stretch mark 5. You're about to see my spirit animal. Take a look at my man right here. I believe he's in white.
Okay.
He's the primary defender, number 10. He looks at the ref. Looks at the ref like, how you gonna let him do that to me?
Oh.
No, I got the ball back. Oh, time for retribution. I got this. Euro step. Oh, this is my guy. He's just playing hard. He's just playing hard.
So I want to give that young fella credit because he did more defensive slides on that play than I've ever done in my
Your whole
life.
career. And he popped right back up and got in the
Correct.
play.
Here's the other
That was a
thing.
foul. He took a foul. That's a foul. You got to call that, ref.
But here's the number one thing about players, especially before they get to the pros. You hurt until you get the ball.
Oh, yeah.
You're hurt.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get the ball.
Ball's available, pop it up. Then I'm
Think
going
about-
down the court.
Hey, if he wouldn't have got the ball, he'd have been down there holding his
He got
knee.
fouled. I'm riding for this guy. Number 10 in white, you're my guy. You got fouled.
He was holding his knee.
No, but I like it. He got crossed, then he looked at the
And then
ref.
the ball came
he looked at
back
the
to
ref.
him.
Like, you're not going to call that?
And then he goes the
What was
other
that?
way,
Carry?
thinking he going to do a
Push?
Euro step. They like, no, you in America, dog.
They're like, we can see you. We see you set up the Euro step. We should get out your way and just let you handle that on your own. I love that kid. Oh, he's welcome to join my rec league anytime. Anytime. Jalen Rose, when we come back, it's finally time to discuss Deion Waiters on a boat. We got to talk about Deion Waiters on a boat. Stay tuned for that. Maybe, Jalen.
Maybe
take
I
his
got
feet out.
invited.
One more time. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, Deion Waiters wasn't joining the Miami Heat because he was sick. He wasn't feeling well. He was sick. Well, he's been suspended for the third time by the franchise because while he was sick, he was chilling on a boat. He was chilling on a boat. Not only was he on the boat, he was on Instagram on the boat with his arms stretched out wide.
What a picture. I got to see the picture.
The Miami skyline in the background. So Jalen Rose, he's now been suspended 3 times. What's going to happen between him and the Heat?
So this is when trying to get traded has gone wrong. Because what ends up happening is when you start to show insubordinates, now you suppress your trade value.
Does not help your market value.
Correct. And he's had 3 different level of instances that he had to be punished for. One was like an insubordination attitude. Then the one was on the airplane with the edible.
Yep.
And then now this is the boat party for your birthday when you tell the team that you're sick. And so it happens in professional sports, man. They signed Jimmy Butler in the offseason. None comes out of nowhere. They have Tyler Hero. Hopefully he can find a way to re-ingratiate himself into the team.
Very quickly, I want to show something that happened with Trey Lyles and a fan. The ball goes into the stands. It happens all the time. Trey Lyles goes over there just to get it back, and it's in the second row. So he has to go under the chair in the first row, and he pops it up and spills this woman's beer. Should the league discipline him? Is this a fine? Is this a flagrant foul? Or is this just a party foul?
This is a simple one.
What's that?
Playing in a lot of games, sitting up close. All you got to do is buy her another beer.
Yeah, you got to get it. You got to point to the security guy and be like,
there's millionaires on the floor. There's billionaires that own the team. Just get her another beer.
You've played in a lot of NBA basketball games. You've also flown on a lot of planes. I just want to show you one more time what was captured on video by shaming passengers. He's picking the bottom of his foot on a plane with his pinky finger.
Disgusting. He's not really trying to pick it with his pinky.
Look at the
scalpel.
Look at the bottom of his feet too. Those look dirty.
And a shovel.
What was he doing before he got in the plane?
Oh my goodness.
Where was he? Was he working on a farm barefoot before he got in the plane?
That is just
What kind of footwear is he
trifling.
wearing? Did he take his shoes off and his socks off? If you saw that, what would you do?
I would do what I'm doing right now. Look like I'm just disgusted.
I would alert the crew.
He looked like
I would
he been
push
walking.
the burn.
You know what? Since he
Who's
was
on the
born,
show tomorrow?
The Locks will be here.
The Locks on the show tomorrow. ESPN 2 and 2. The Locks will be here.
Sheik Luciano.
So exciting.